Hey everyone, so I've had a handful of people reach out to me about digital planning. They just don't really know where to begin. And one of those people is actually my mom. She's got the iPad, she's got the Apple Pencil, but just doesn't really know what to do with all of it. So I'm actually making this video for her, but hopefully it'll help some other people as well. I'm mainly going to be talking about and using the GoodNotes app and the Procreate app in this video, and I will also post timestamps to different things that I cover, just in case you already kind of know some of this stuff and want to skip around. And also, I'm just going to go ahead and apologize. My husband and my kids are in the next room, and they can get a little bit loud at times, so you might hear some random background noise. But anyway, to get started, I just want to say that digital planning is awesome because over time you'll end up saving tons of money, and just the convenience factor of it. You don't have to pull out a bunch of pens and your notebook and a bunch of stickers and stuff. All you have to pull out is your iPad or whatever kind of tablet you use and your stylus. And I also just like that it's paperless, so it's more environmentally friendly. So there's just a few apps that you need. You need some kind of note-taking app. I prefer to use the GoodNotes app, but there are others out there like NoteShelf and Notability are two others. But I'm just going to cover the GoodNotes app. And you don't have to have this app, but I do almost everything in Procreate as far as writing and decorating. Procreate is a great app for that. Also, I always recommend that people either use a Dropbox account, it's a Google Dropbox account, or their iCloud Drive to save all of their files, because you're going to want to save a lot of like sticker files and images and stuff to use in your digital planner, and you don't want it to just overload the memory on your iPad. So if you have a Google Dropbox account or an iCloud Drive, you can use those and organize your stickers and pages into folders, and that way they're on your iPad, but they're not really just totally on your iPad taking up memory. You can just download them as needed and have everything sorted and separated and just bring it into GoodNotes or bring it into Procreate. So yeah, so I'm going to get started with GoodNotes right now, and I'm just going to pull up that app. I'm going to pull up my personal planner to show you how to use GoodNotes, and I will show you just how you can do a few things in the GoodNotes app. So let me pull that up. And this is a planner that is actually available in my Etsy shop. I will link to it in the item description just if you like this planner, but you'll be able to do this stuff with any planner, any notebook that you have in GoodNotes, not just this planner. So anyway, here's just an example of some of the stuff that you can do with digital planning. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do is switch pages. So when you pull up your planner, it's going to take you to the page that you were most recently on, like you just saw with mine. I had just been looking at the August calendar. So to scroll between pages, there's two different ways you can do that. Make sure that this icon at the top is selected. It's like a pen with a line through it, and that will allow you to scroll back and forth between pages. Or if you don't want to just scroll and scroll and scroll, you can select these four boxes in the top left corner, and you can get a quick view of all of the pages in your planner, and you can just select whichever page you want to go to. So if I wanted to go to this week, which I'm actually currently filling in this week in Procreate, so that's why it's blank here, you can, just click on that. Or if you have a planner that has linked tabs, you can click on the tabs and it'll take you to the different sections. So there's really three different ways that you can get around in digital planners. So to write something, let me go back to July. If you want to write something, you select this pen right here. It's the very first icon in the center. and just select that, and you can write. Right now I have it on black. So if you want to change color, you can click on it again, and sometimes the presets just shows up, and that's just all these preset colors, which I believe you can change. And if you click on custom, you can pick any of these colors. So I like to come to this section to pick my colors, and let's say you wanted pink. You can select pink and then click back on your tablet and you can write in pink. If you want to adjust your pen, you can move this bar down and it'll give you, you know, a more narrow line, or you can move it up and it'll give you a thicker and bolder line. So that's how you write. Let me clear all this stuff. So now if you want to highlight something, the second icon in the center is your highlight tool. So you would select that and then just draw over whatever you want to highlight. And again, with that, you can change colors by clicking on it again. And there's their preset highlighter colors, and you can select the thickness of your highlighter right underneath. Or you can go to custom and you can select any of these colors and you can have your own custom highlighter color. So to import a photo into GoodNotes, which this is how you would use your stickers in GoodNotes as well, because digital stickers are really just images. They're images with transparent backgrounds. So you can do that from GoodNotes, excuse me, I zoned out for a second, by selecting the plus sign, and then if the image that you want to insert is saved in your camera roll, you would go to image and then photos, and then it would pull up all your photos, and you would just select one of those photos. I'm gonna insert a picture of, here are my kids. So there's a picture of my kids, and I could use this as a sticker. Once you've imported it, you can size it by dragging these little dots along the edges. Just drag it out to make it bigger, drag it in to make it smaller, and then place it wherever you want to place it. And once you're happy with the placement, you can just click off of the photo anywhere and it'll place it there. If you want to move that photo, you select your lasso tool, which is the fourth icon in the center, and then just draw a circle. You can either draw it completely around it or just right inside of it, and then take your stylus and move it around while that lasso tool has it selected. You can also, after you've selected a photo with the lasso tool, click on it and you can take a screenshot of it, you can resize it, you can change the color, which that doesn't work for a lot of photos, but it does for some. I've never used Convert, so I don't really know what that does. You can cut the photo and then paste it somewhere else. You can copy the photo and then paste it somewhere else, or you can delete the photo. So I'm gonna delete that. And the next thing I want to show you is how you can crop a photo in Procreate. So for this, I'm gonna import a photo that I have saved to my Google Dropbox. So to insert that, I'm gonna hit the plus sign, I'm gonna go to image, and I'm gonna go to Dropbox. And now I'm gonna pull up I have these word stickers saved. So I'm gonna pull up, I'm just gonna pull up the month of July since we're in July. And these are stickers that are also available in my Etsy shop, which I'll link to. And okay, so I've got the word July in 20 different fonts because that's what that sticker set is. So let's say I just wanted to use one of these stickers. Right after I import it, I'm just gonna click on it and then I'm gonna click on crop. And now I can either do a rectangle crop, which is where I would adjust this box kind of like this to form a rectangle around the part of the image that I wanted to crop, or I can do a freehand crop, which is where I'll draw a shape around the part of the image that I want to crop. So the freehand crop is what I mostly use in GoodNotes. So let's say I wanted July in this font right here. I'm just going to draw a circle around that part of the image. And I'm going to click on Done. And now that is an individual sticker. And again, I can size it up or shrink it down and move it wherever I want to move it. So that's how you do that. Now I'm going to show you how to add and delete pages from your planner. So let me just delete this really quick. So in order to duplicate pages, you want to go to this icon that has the 4 boxes again. And if there's a page that you want to copy over and over, say for example, I have this day at a glance page, I would go to Edit, and then I would select that page, and then I would click on Copy. And now I want to duplicate that page, so I'm going to click on Done, and then I'm going to click this plus sign in the left corner, and if you can see all those little plus signs popped up in between each individual page, that's where you would click where you would want to place the page. So if I wanted to put that page in between this page right here, page number 83 and page number 84, I would click the plus sign in between those 2 pages, and I would click on Paste Copied Pages. And if I wanted to keep pasting that page because I wanted a few of those pages, I would just do that over and over again. You don't have to do it directly in front of or right behind the page that you just duplicated it. You could take this page and duplicate it anywhere in your planner. So that's how you do that. So now I'm going to delete those pages to show you how to remove pages. To delete the pages, I'm going to click on those 4 boxes again, and I'm going to click on Edit, and let's say I inserted 2 of them. So now I'm just going to click on the 2 pages that I want to delete, and I'm going to click on Trash. And now they're gone. So that's how you do that part of it. Now I'm going to show you how easy it is to switch between notebooks. For this planner, I offer a sticker book. A lot of digital planners, they may not offer a sticker book, but you might end up purchasing a lot of digital stickers or making your own digital stickers and want to put them in a separate sticker book. To pull up another planner or your sticker book, if you're already in your current planner, you click on this arrow that takes you back right here. And I have this saved under the same section in GoodNotes. So I'm just going to click on that. But if the book that you want to pull up is in another section, this will work the same way. You would just have to first go to categories, and then select the category you have that other notebook saved under. But here's my sticker book. So now I've got this open, and you can see that my planner is still open in this tab right here. So now if I wanted to copy and paste one of these stickers, I would just make sure my lasso tool is selected, and I would circle the sticker that I want to copy. Then I would click in the middle of the circle and select copy, and then I could go back to my planner, press down on the page and click paste, and then I can move that sticker wherever I want to move it. And you know, if I wanted to resize it, I would just click on it again and click resize, and now I can make it bigger or smaller. So that's how you do that. I'm going to delete that. And now the last thing I'm going to show you is how to take a screenshot from GoodNotes and save it to your camera roll so you can decorate it in Procreate. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure your lasso tool is selected, and you're going to draw a box around the page that you want to copy. It doesn't have to be a perfect box, but you do want to try to make sure that you don't get any of the background or any of the tabs. But it's okay, you know, if you touch that a little bit. So now that I've drawn my box, this box popped up that says take screenshot. Sometimes that doesn't come up for me for some reason, but so if it doesn't for you, all you have to do is click on the middle of the box that you just drew and then it'll pop up. So I'm gonna select take screenshot, and it took a screenshot of that whole page. And now to save it to my camera roll, I'm gonna click this box in the upper right corner and I'm gonna click on save image. And now I'm going to show you all the things that you can do in Procreate. Okay, so now I've got Procreate pulled up, and this is my current July week that I'm working on. I use my planner more, it's kind of like a planner, but it's also kind of like a scrapbook. It's just kind of a hybrid. So, you know, this is just an example of some of the stuff that you can do in Procreate. So I'm going to show you how you can do some of this. First, I'm gonna insert my picture that I just screenshotted in GoodNotes. So there is 2 different ways that you can insert the photo. The way that I prefer to do it is by selecting photo and then pulling it directly out of my camera roll. That way the image size is the exact size of the screenshot that I took, because GoodNotes is all about ratios. It doesn't let you resize images by height and width. It makes you keep the image proportional to the original image. So this makes it easier to resize it once you bring this back into GoodNotes. But if you want to, for any other image, if you're decorating something for another thing, you can create a new document, and they give you the option of screen size, square, 4K, A4, 4x6, or you can create your own custom size if you know the exact size you need to make your document. I'm just going to select screen size for this. And then to import the photo, you would go to your wrench tool, make sure image is selected, click on insert a photo, and then pull up the photo, and it'll insert it into the document. So that's just the 2 different ways that you can do that. But I'm going to go back to this page. And okay, so the first thing I'm going to show you is how to change your brush in Procreate. So I'm going to pull up a blank document for that. And here is your brush tool right here. Procreate comes with tons of different brushes just already built in for you, but I mean, this is way more than it comes with because I've downloaded tons of brushes. But you can also pay to download Procreate brushes from different creators. My favorite place to buy Procreate brushes is Creative Market. I've bought a few on Etsy, but I mainly go to Creative Market when I'm looking for new brushes. So I believe the ones that they come with: sketching brushes, inking, calligraphy, painting, artistic, airbrushing, textures, abstract, charcoals. There's just tons. And each of these sections has different brushes too. So you just get a ton of brushes with it. So in order to change your brush, you just select your brush tool and select the category that you're looking for a brush under, and then select one of those brushes. So I'm just gonna select this script brush under calligraphy. And now that I have it selected, let me change my color to black. Over here, this top toolbar is where you can adjust your brush size. So if you drag it down, it makes your brush thinner. If you drag it up, it makes your brush thicker. This second slider right here is for your opacity. This doesn't work for all brushes. Some of them just have solid black or solid color no matter what, but some you can adjust the opacity. So when it's at the very top like that, it's solid black. Let me see. And see, this one doesn't really have, it made it a little bit lighter, but not much. But that's where you would adjust your opacity for. Let me show you a watercolor brush that I have. Let's see, here's a smudge one. So that's maximum, and then bring the opacity down, and that's with the opacity all the way down. So you can see the different ways that you can adjust your brushes. Also, if you're wanting to write, let me clear this layer, and you want your lettering to be a little bit more smooth, you can click on this brush again, and it brings in all of these settings that you can adjust. And there's a setting called Streamline. So if you bring Streamline all the way up, it's gonna make your writing a little more smooth. I don't like mine at 100%, but you know, it does kind of help guide you to get your lettering a little bit more smooth. And if you bring Streamline all the way down, it's more, you know, it copies the exact movement of your hand. So I kind of like to have mine at a happy medium. Let me adjust that. Okay, so that is how you write. To erase, it kind of works the same way, except you don't have a million different erasers to choose from. You would just select erase right here. The opacity doesn't matter for the eraser, but to adjust like the eraser size, let me just write a little bit. So now say I want to erase that and I don't want to delete the whole layer. I would just click my eraser tool, and this is all the way up, so that's the maximum eraser size. And if I bring it down, it's a thinner eraser. So that's how you do that. Now I'm gonna show you how to change color when you're writing. You can do this. I'll show you in a little bit how you can change the color of something you've already written in another color. But right now I'm just gonna show you how to select color before you actually write anything. So to change color, all you do is select this dot that's in the upper right hand corner, and there's a few different ways that you can change color. You've got this, if you have disc selected, you've got this color wheel here, and you can drag this to whatever color you want it to be. And then inside the color wheel is a smaller wheel, and you would drag this little dot. Oh, I picked up the bigger dot. Just select there and drag this little dot to whatever shade you want it to be. And now that color is selected, and now I've got green. So that's one way. Another way is you can click on Classic and use this slider, kind of the same way you would use that wheel, and then select the color from here, or the shade from here. And now I've got this blue. Another way is to click on Value, and if you know the RGB or hex code of the color that you want to use, you can enter the RGB here or the hex code here. And I'm, you know, like I said, I'm doing this with my mom in mind. I know she doesn't know hex codes, so Mom, I will teach you about those later if you're interested in learning about those. But they're really cool if you know a specific color. So anyway, that's 3 different ways that you can change colors. You can also build color palettes in Procreate. So I haven't built a lot of color palettes. I had it on my old iPad, but I didn't import them into this iPad. But if there's a color that you like and you know that you want to use it again, you would select palettes, and you can create a new color palette by selecting this plus sign right here, and then change the title by clicking on the title and just typing, you know, I'm just going to type new color palette because I'm going to delete this later. Okay, so I've got my title for my color palette, and let's say I wanted to add this aqua color. I would just select one of those boxes and it'll fill it in. And if I wanted to save that green color, but I had already switched away from it, just take your finger and hold down on it, and it'll select it again, and you'll see that that dot changed color. And now I can go, like if it was here, I could go back to my palettes and then select the box next to it, and now I've got that green saved as well. And then if I wanted to pull these at any time, let's say I was like on a blue and I knew that I wanted to use that green, my color palette, since that's the newest one, it's set as default, but you can set any of these as default by just clicking set default. And the color palette will be right here, and you can access all of your color palettes under the palette panel, and then just select whatever color you want to use, and it'll change it to that color. If you want a true black at any point, to get that, all you have to do is select the dot, and on the color wheel, just kind of double tap towards the bottom, and it'll go straight to solid black. If you want white, go to your color wheel and then double tap towards the top, and it'll select solid white. So that is how you can change color. Okay, so now I'm going to show you about layers. And layers are one of the main things that I love about Procreate, because it gives you so much freedom to adjust things as you want them adjusted, and you can move individual things around a lot more easier. This is one thing that GoodNotes doesn't have, and it's not the only reason, but it's one of the main reasons why I prefer to decorate my planner pages in Procreate rather than GoodNotes. So your layers panel is right here. It's this icon that's like two squares stacked on top of each other diagonally. And as you can see right now, I've just got two layers. I've got the background color and then the first layer. If I wanted to save something with a transparent background, which is what you would want to do if you're creating your own sticker to use in GoodNotes, you can click this box right here and it'll turn off the background color. And so now if I were to save this, I would only have all these like little squiggles with no background color at all. So, but for now I'm going to turn that background layer back on. And clicking that box works for any layer. So if there's a layer that you want to temporarily or permanently turn off, but you don't want to delete it, just click the box beside it, and if it's unchecked, it won't show up. And if you want to see it again, just click that box and check it, and it'll show up again. So to add a layer, all you do is click on the plus sign right here. And now I've started a new layer, and I could just come in with, I'm just going to do some pink on top of all this blue. And now that's on a separate layer. So if I were to hide this, the pink would stay, or if I were to hide this, the other layer would stay. If you want to move layers around together, you can do that. Well, first let me just show you how to move one layer around on its own. To move a layer around, you click on this arrow tool, and that'll move the whole layer around. So if you wanted to move both layers around together without merging the layers, you're just going to swipe the first layer and then swipe the other layer that you want to move, and now they're both selected. And now you would click that arrow tool and you can move them around, or you can drag this box to resize the layers. So you can do that individually or together. So that's how you do that. If you wanted to merge a layer, if you're like totally happy with your design, and you know that you want to keep two separate layers together from here on out, make sure the layers are stacked on top of each other, and then click on the top layer and click on merge down. And now I've just turned two layers into one layer. If you want to just select part of a layer and move it somewhere without completely ungrouping it, you can do that by selecting this ribbon tool right here, and then make sure freehand is selected down here, and then you would just draw a circle or a box or whatever around the part of the layer that you want to select on its own, and then click on that arrow tool, and now I'm just moving around part of the layer. So you can do that with any layer. Let's see, what else do I need to go over? Okay, so now I'm going to show you what it's like to work with several different layers and how you can move layers around and merge layers if you want to. And I'm going to do that by going to that planner page that I brought in from GoodNotes. And let's say I just wanted to completely customize this page. and let's say I didn't want the July there and I wanted to, I don't know, put something else up there. I can cover that July by erasing it. So I would click on my layers to make sure that I'm on the same layer as the image, which you can see layer number 1 and you can see the image there. So you can see that this is the page that I definitely want to edit. So now I'm going to select my eraser tool and I'm going to erase July. And if you ever mess up, here's your undo button right there, and you can click that as many times as you need to until you're back to where you want to be. So I've erased July. So now on a new layer, because I never want to do it on the same layer as this image, because you know this is my screenshot and I don't want to mess with it too much other than deleting the July part. So I'm gonna create a new layer and I'm gonna write July, and it's gonna look really bad because I'm at a weird angle. Oh, make sure your brush tool is selected when you write. And make sure that's not all the way up. Okay. So I've got July written in really bad. And let's say I wanted to move that or size it down. I would select my arrow tool and bring that in a little bit. And now let's say I wanted to do my numbers above the days and I wanted that on a new layer. So I'd go to my layers, I would create a new layer, and I'm gonna change the color, and I'm just gonna write, I'm gonna write the numbers in on their own layer. So here's my 1, new layer, 2, new layer, 3, new layer, 4, new layer, 5, new layer, 6, and new layer, 7. So I've got all my numbers written in, and how I like to align these, I've shown this in other videos. I like to drag these down one by one and kind of center them with the box and try to keep them against the line down here. And then I bring them all together. Oops, reset. And then I bring them all together and put them up at the top all at the same time. So let me just adjust these numbers really quickly and then I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so now that I've got these all, they're not perfectly centered, but centered enough with the boxes. Now I want to merge the numbers together and move them to the top. Or actually first I'm just going to move them all to the top and then I'll merge the numbers together. So to select all of them, just like I showed you a few minutes ago, I'm going to swipe on all of the layers. The 7 is already selected. So I'm just going to swipe on the additional layers, select this arrow tool, and move them up. And now, you know, I can size them all together too if I want to. Normally I would actually size them before I even place them in the middle of those boxes, but I'm just showing you how layers work now. So anyway, now they're just sized, and now like that would be one thing where I know that I wouldn't want those going anywhere. So I would just on each individual layer click on merge down, until that's one layer now. So now anytime I click on this, it's going to select everything. But if I wanted to just select part of the layer, I would make sure that layer is selected and then go to my ribbon tool and then just draw around the part of the layer that I want to select, and then click on this arrow, and now I can just move part of the layer. Or if for some reason I wanted to duplicate just one part of that layer, I would again make sure the layer is selected, go to my ribbon tool, draw a circle, and then click duplicate contents. And now what that does is it copies part of one layer onto its own layer. And so now I've got, well, I resized it. Okay, so now I've got 2 ones right here. So that is what I like to do with these big sticker sheets, which I'll show you here in a minute. So let's see. Okay, so now I'm going to delete all of these numbers and delete that July part of the document so I can show you how you can use sticker sheets if you want to import your numbers from a sticker sheet. So to delete a layer, you're going to go to your layers panel and you're just going to swipe to the side and click on delete. And again, I'm just going to do that 3 times. So now when you insert a photo, it's instantly going to put it in its own layer. You really only need to create a new layer when you're wanting to write something on a new layer. So if I was writing this in, I would hit the plus sign to create a new layer, but I'm not going to write this in. I'm going to import a photo. So to import a file from my Dropbox, I'm going to click on this wrench tool and I'm going to click on insert a file since it's saved in my Dropbox. And I'm going to go to Dropbox. I'm going to go to Word Stickers, Solid Black, and I'm going to go to the numbers, and I'm just going to do numbers 4 through 7 for this. So now that I've got this imported, this is on its own layer since it's a picture and I just imported it. So let's say I wanted to just use the 4 through 7 in this font. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select my ribbon. I'm going to draw a circle just around the 4. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click duplicate contents. And now you can see that that 4 is on its own layer. So now I'm going to go back to the inserted image and I'm going to select my ribbon. I think that's called the selection tool. And I'm going to draw a circle around the 5. And again, click duplicate contents. And now 5 has its own layer. So I'm just going to do this with the 6 and the 7. Okay, so I just did it with the 6 and the 7. One thing I want to say about that method is every time you make the selection, make sure you're not on the new layer. Make sure you're on the inserted image layer for it to work properly. So now that I've got the 4, 5, 6, and 7, I'm going to delete that whole image, and those remain individually as their own layers. So you can select the layers that they're on and move them. Oops, I'm drawing, sorry. You can select, like I've got the 4 selected here, so now I can click on my arrow tool and move it wherever I want to move it. Or, you know, I can line them up like in the center of the box one by one, the way that I did with those green numbers a few minutes ago. So that's how you do that. That's how you would select part of a photo. That's how you would crop a planner sticker. You know, if you had a whole sticker sheet, that's how you would crop it. If you wanted to change the color of the stickers or of any image really, let me delete these and I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to pull an image in from my sticker sheet that comes with the planner that's in my Etsy shop, and I'm going to show you how I can change the color of the overall object and how I can fill it in with color. I'm going to pull in a flower sticker, and I have these saved to my iCloud drive. Okay, so here is a flower sticker that I have with that planner that's in my Etsy shop, and it's a good sticker to use because the outline is solid black and also there's a lot of areas to fill in. So to make it easier to see, I'm going to turn off my background layer, or not my background layer, I'm going to turn off my layer number 1, that's the calendar. So make sure the layer is selected of the object that you want to change the color of, and select whatever color that you want to use. And then you just take this dot and drag it. And if you wanted to just change the color of the outline, drag it to touch the outline. And it'll change the color just like that. Now if you want to fill in some white space, you can select whatever color. I'm just going to go back to green. And then just drag it down to one of the blank spaces and it'll fill that space. And you can just do that, you know, until every space that you want to fill is colored in. So that's how you do that. Okay, so I don't know if you noticed a few minutes ago, I accidentally added a color to my color palette, which I accidentally do all the time in Procreate, and that made me realize that I forgot to show you how to delete a color from your color palette. To do that, all you do is select that color and hold down for a second, and then select delete. And that is how you can delete a color from your color palette. So now I'm gonna show you how to overlay an image or your writing or anything with a texture. So let me delete this layer, and I'm gonna create a new layer to write, and I'm gonna go to black. And now I'm just gonna write really sloppily the word hello. Let me actually make it thicker so you can see it better. And you don't only have to do this with writing, you can do it with, if you like import that flower sticker or anything like that and you want to overlay it with a texture, it would work for that as well. So I've written hello, and now I want to make it have a gold foil texture. You can get textures from tons of different places. You can buy some from Creative Market. You can really just search on Google if you're doing it for personal use and find some really cool textures. That way you could just search for gold foil texture or watercolor texture or whatever you have in mind. Or you can go to this website called Pexels, which I've already got it. No, I don't already have it pulled up. I thought I did. It's PEXELS.com. And you can search for whatever kind of texture you have in mind. I'm gonna just type in gold foil. And there's a couple of really pretty textures. So I'm gonna use one of those. I'm gonna click on it, and then I'm gonna click on free download. Oh, and by the way, this texture is from FW Studio if anybody is interested in downloading it. And I'll link to it in the video as well. Okay, so when you click on download, it pulls up this image just pretty big in your browser. So you just click on it, hold your finger down on it for a second, and then click on save image. And now that saves it to your camera roll. So now we're gonna go back to Procreate, and I'm gonna insert that texture. So I'm gonna select the wrench tool, select insert a photo, and there's my gold foil texture. So now you want to make sure it covers, it doesn't have to cover the whole canvas, it can really just cover the word. So that automatically covered the word, but if you were to bring in a texture and it was like this big on the screen, you would just drag the dots to resize it to make sure your word is covered. And now I'm going to go to my layers panel, and I'm going to select the layer that I wrote on, layer number 2. And I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hit select. And then I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to click on invert selection. Oh, you got to make sure the layers aren't still up. After you get rid of the layers panel, click on invert selection, and you can see that the word is selected. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but you know the word is selected because it has all these tiny moving lines that are in the shape of the word. And so now that I've done that, I'm gonna click on my gold layer and click on clear. And now it's just overlaid the word in that gold texture, and that's completely permanent. It's not a mask or anything. It's changed the shape of that gold rectangle image into the shape of hello. So now I can even delete this hello texture, and this still, you know, says hello in gold. And now I can resize it however I want to. I can move it wherever I want to, and it's just solid gold, just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to import brushes. because I just have a feeling that once you get Procreate figured out, you're going to want to buy some brushes. So, like I said earlier, I like to buy a bunch of my brushes from Creative Market. They just have a ton of really cool brushes of all different kinds that you can use in Procreate. So, I just recently purchased a brush pack that I haven't imported yet. So to do this, if you want to do it all on your iPad, if you don't have a computer, you can do that by using an app called iZip. So, first thing you're going to want to do is find a brush pack that you want to buy on Creative Market, and you can just search Creative Market for Procreate brushes. So let me just show you from the beginning. Let me just go straight to their website. Okay, so now you can just type Procreate brushes in the search bar. And here's a bunch of brushes that you can choose from. I own a lot of these, but anyway, I'm going to go straight to the ones that I have already purchased. Here it is. Okay, so you would click on download now after you click on finish purchase. And you want to open it in iZip Pro because this is a zip file, so it's going to have to unzip the file. And you want to hit OK to extract all files. And now, here are all of these brushes. So to import them directly from iZip, you're just going to click to the right and make sure it's selected. And you have to do it one at a time, I believe, because iZip, I know if you select multiple files, it zips it again, and then it just makes it useless. Like you can't really open a zip file on your iPad without some kind of special app. So anyway, just click on that brush and then come down here and click on Open In, and then click on Copy to Procreate. And now it imported the brush, and it will be under your imported. It'll create a section called Imported, and then your imported brushes will be under there. So I'm gonna import all of these brushes that way really quick, and then show you how to change the name of the section, because I download so many brushes, I don't like to save them just under imported. I like to rename the file from whatever kit I purchased the brushes from. That way they're easier to find. So let me do this really quick, and then I'll show you how to change the name of your brush section. Okay, so I've got them all imported, and now you can see they're still under the imported section, but here's all the brushes, and I just imported them from iZip one by one. And you can do this a few different ways. I like to save mine, like these are lettering brushes by On the Spot Studio, which I will provide the link to in the video description. And so, some people might just want to create a lettering folder and then save all of their lettering brushes that they buy under lettering. But I like to save, I have several lettering brushes, and I like to remember, which pack I prefer more than, I might prefer one pack more than another pack. So I don't like to save them all under lettering, or I'd be scrolling all day. So what I do is save them under what they are, and then usually the abbreviation of the shop that I bought them from. So I want to change this brush section to lettering OTSS. So I'm going to click where it says imported, and I'm just going to hold down for a second. Well, I'm not going to hold down for a second. I'm sorry, I'm wrong about that. I'm just going to click on where it says imported, and then I'm going to select rename, and then I'm just going to type in lettering OTSS. And then I'm going to hit return. And oh gosh, I saved the importing. Okay, so let me rename it again and delete that, and then Make sure you delete the word imported is, that's where I messed up. Okay, so now they're saved under lettering OTSS. And I just do that anytime I import a new brush pack, but that's completely optional. You can save everything under imported if you want to. So now that I've shown you all that, I'm just going to show you how to save a photo and then import it back into GoodNotes. I'm going to show you two different things. So if you are like me and you want to decorate your planner pages in Procreate, you don't have to turn off the background layer or anything like that. You would just, once you're done with the page, and you can look how many layers I have in this document, and I'm not even done. But anyway, you would just save the page as it is. So you can go to your wrench tool and then select share, and then you can save it either as a JPEG or PNG. I'm just gonna select PNG and click on save image. For pages like this where the background is white, JPEG would be fine as well. It's just whatever you want to do. So now I'm going to pull up GoodNotes, and here's the July page where I want to place it. So just like I showed you at the beginning, I'm going to click on the plus sign, click on image, and that saved it to my camera roll. So I'm going to go to photos, moments, and then it's my most recent photo. And now I'm just going to drag the corners and resize it until the page underneath it is covered. And I didn't size it good enough, so let me resize it a little bit more. Okay, so now you know that's how I would place it. I still have a few of these left to fill in, so I'm going to do that later. But that's how I would place my calendar. So let me delete this, and now I'm going to show you how I would just place a sticker that I make in Procreate. Okay, so I'm going to go back to that hello that I wrote that's in gold. And let's say that I wanted to save this as a sticker. To save it with a transparent background, which is what you want to do for any digital sticker, you're going to go to your layers and you're going to turn off the background color. And so you can see now that it's just the hello. There's no background at all. I know it looks like it's on a black background, but you can see this grid, so that's how you know that it's transparent. I don't know if you can see the grid in the video. But anyway, there's the word that I want to save. So now I'm going to save this to my camera roll by going to my wrench tool, making sure share is selected, and then saving it as a PNG. And then I'm going to click on save image. You can also, I want to show you, save it to your files, which would save it to your iCloud. I'm not sure if you can save it to Dropbox from here. But no, you can either save it to your iCloud or iCloud Drive or your camera roll from here. But I saved it to my camera roll. So now I'm going to pull up GoodNotes. I'm going to select the plus sign, select image, select photos, go to moments. And it looks like when you pull it up from here that it has a black background, but it really doesn't. It has no background. So I'm going to click on that, and you can see it has a transparent background. I have somehow missed that little black line there that I wrote. But anyway, so now you can shrink it down, and now it's a sticker. And you can resize it and place it wherever you want. So anyway, Mom, let me know if you have any questions, or if you are watching this because you're new to digital planning as well. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. You can contact me on Etsy. You can contact me on my website. You can find Nap Time Alternative on Facebook and contact me there. Just whatever is easiest for you. Thanks so much.